Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Itkin, psychic medium, angel channel, and intuitive healer. And today I wanted to talk to you about so many people experience, including myself, I've experienced times in my life in which it felt like nothing was working out. And this happens, I see this a lot when I give people readings. People want to know, why is everything failing in my life? Why am I not getting the job that I want to? Why am I not in the type of relationship that I want to be in over and over again? Why am I constantly failing at whatever I do? And so I thought I would title this talk, Am I Being Punished or Pushed? And first of all, I believe, and when I'm talking about punished or pushed, I mean by the universe. So many people do believe, there's religious teachings and all that God can be punishing, or the universe can punish you, and there's karma and all those things. And I personally don't believe that we are ever punished by any divine being or by the universe. And when things aren't working out well, we're just being pushed to maybe move into something that would be for our highest and best. Before I became an intuitive healer, I felt like I was failing in all my jobs. Nothing seemed to be working out. I lived in a town where I had all these friends, but nobody ever wanted to go out and do anything, and it felt like pulling teeth socially. And I kept getting into relationships that were short-lived and didn't work out, and I was just like, what the hell? Sorry about swearing. Why am I failing at everything? And I felt awful. And so I realize now it's because I wasn't in the right place. I wasn't living in the right place, and I wasn't doing the right work, and I wasn't ready to be in relationship because I was supposed to move to Boulder and live this new life. So I want you to ask yourself, if you can resonate with this and feel like that nothing is really working for you, I want to ask yourself a few questions. First, ask yourself, am I self-sabotaging? Am I afraid to succeed, and do I feel like I don't deserve to succeed, and therefore I'm just going to sabotage any and all things that are good for me in my life, sabotage good relationships, good jobs, and all that? And I think that we should also ask ourselves, am I addicted to feeling miserable? Some people are actually really attached to suffering and feel like that's their story, and that they don't really know how else to be other than happy. And other than miserable, sorry. So ask yourself that, am I afraid to really experience joy? Am I afraid to leave a type of life that I know I'm comfortable with suffering? Am I afraid to move on from suffering? Because that is actually a thing where people do feel very uncomfortable with happiness. And also ask yourself if you feel like you're sacrificing your desires in order to meet the needs of others. Some people feel like they can't pursue their dreams because they have to take care of this person or that person. Of course, if you're a parent, then you do have to make sacrifices for your children, but many times I've seen people who are in relationships that are toxic and where they're always giving and never receiving, and there's no time for them to explore what it is that they really want to do. And a big thing also is, are you lacking confidence? If you're lacking confidence in your abilities to be successful, then of course success is not going to come as easily. We have to believe in ourselves and in our journeys, and have faith and recognize our gifts, and that we each have something very beautiful and special to offer in this world. So if you answer no to all those questions and things aren't working out for you, then to me it means that the universe is really pushing you. And I know my cousin asked if Neryl, if the universe was telling me to look at another career path. That was what was happening when I was a therapist. I felt like the universe, and I got clear messages that I was supposed to look at another career path, and this is my career path. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And now in my life, everything has changed in terms of my feelings of success in career and friendships, socially, and all that. I feel like there's been a huge shift now that I've stepped into something that I actually didn't know existed within myself, and I didn't know it was a career. So anyway, perhaps, you know, a lot of times when I give readings and people, this one person just kept getting jobs that were dead ends, and that she kept getting fired. And I saw that really, she thought that she wanted these jobs, but really what she actually was capable of and what would actually make her the happiest was something much greater. And so my advice to her was to get really, really clear about what she wanted to do and not worry about whether or not it was possible. And then once she was able to do that and get really clear with what she wanted to do, how much money she wanted to make, and so on, she realized that all those failures were blessings in disguise. And also sometimes it's about location. Let's say you're in a town and you're trying everything, and like in my experience when I was living in my hometown, where it just kind of felt like nothing was working out. Maybe you're supposed to be in a different location, and it's good to check in with yourself and see if you're being pulled to any other places, if you have any dreams of going to anywhere else, and if so, think about how you want to make that happen, because sometimes if your energy doesn't really match the town that you live in or the place where you're living in, the community that you're living in, it to me feels like you're being pushed to maybe venture out somewhere that really makes you feel connected and happy. Another thing that I think is extremely common in most of us is that our expectations can be too low. So just an example of my own life, I am in a place where rent is really expensive, and I had a roommate, and my roommate was going to need to raise the rent, and I was absolutely panicking and freaking out. And if he didn't say that he was going to raise the rent, then I probably would have just stayed there because it was very affordable and comfortable, and I didn't feel like I was taking as much of a risk financially. So he says that he is going to raise the rent. I start freaking out. I'm like, I don't want a roommate, you know, who's gonna, I don't know, what if we don't get along? I don't like living with other people. Where am I gonna be able to afford to live? And so what happened was I was able to manifest where I'm living now. It's a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment in Boulder, and the rent is extremely, extremely reasonable. And which, you know, people would have said, no, that's impossible if you were to see my place, and people who live in Boulder would be like, no, it's not possible to live in a space like this. But if I wasn't pushed to leave my comfort zone in my previous living situation, then I wouldn't have found where I'm living right now. And that I can see that my expectations for where I was living were just too low. And so I was talking to my mom about it, and she just said, you know, Sarah, every time that you're supposed to make change in your life, the universe pushes you. Just something happens and you are forced to make a change that always ends up being positive. So it could very well be happening to you, where the universe is saying, actually, no, you think you want this, but there's actually something much better in store for you. So I think that, again, it's just about getting really, really, really clear about what you want. If you are self-sabotaging, addicted to suffering, you don't believe you're worthy of happiness, you're sacrificing yourself for others, you're lacking in confidence, and therefore you're not moving forward in life, then I would say really focus on working on those things. Maybe get a therapist, work with an intuitive healer like me, journal about it, do your best to kind of overcome those inner challenges, those inner roadblocks that you create for yourself. And if you're in a healthy space and then you feel that nothing is working out, then the answer really is to, again, get clear. What is it that you really want? Do you want something that maybe the universe has something better in store for you? And that's when it's really helpful to just have a truly open heart and make sure that you're in a space of allowing abundant and loving opportunities to come through into your life. And if you have a dream that you've been putting aside because you feel like it's impossible to achieve, stop doing that. I mean, come on, this is your life and you deserve to have a happy life. So if you have this desire to create your own business, to move to a beach town, to, I don't know, anything, then just think about how you can make that happen and do it. And your life will be amazing. And so I think that sometimes we need blessings in disguise in order for us to move forward. And I would love to support you in your path if this is something that you want to work on. And my wish is for everybody is that you just are living your dream, that you're feeling like you're living your highest potential, and that just abundant, wonderful, beautiful opportunities come your way. So thank you for listening. You can visit me at my website, sarahitkin.com. And if you thought this video was interesting, maybe you can forward it to some of your friends. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.